what do people struggle with most when it comes to training or nutrition, or any questions regarding the two. Thinking of content ideas. So I put that on my Facebook and I got quite a few comments. So what I thought I would do is do a little question and answer just from the comments on here, and I put it on my Instagram story and I got a few direct messages. So I'll answer the questions one by one, try and work my way through, tag all the people that commented on the status, and hopefully some other people will have similar questions and it might help you rather than me repeating myself all the time. Macros is the next question, which I would say look at the YouTube channel that I've just started, because it was literally my second video, and knowing if the exercises I'm doing are right for my end goal, burning fat never around my damn stomach. So burning fat never around my damn stomach, you can't spot pick, sadly. Otherwise all girls would never lose the weight on the bum and they would always lose it on the stomach if that was their choice. But the sad truth is you can't spot pick. Genetics pretty much predispose where you're going to lose your body fat, and you lose your body fat all over your full body. So there's no such thing as a beer belly in blokes. It's just most men are predisposed that they will lose the body fat last on their stomach, hence the beer belly. And for women it's like bingo wings, hips, thighs most of the time. So what you need to do is to burn fat on your stomach, it's probably going to be the last area. Once you get down to the lowest percentage of body fat, that's when that last little bit's going to go and your abs are going to start showing. Needing a constant challenge for the next goal slash challenge slash aim, etc. So I think what Graham means here is trying to find constant motivation. What I always say to people is it is a lot easier if you've got a goal in mind. So create an aim in your head and then create sub objectives along the way. So if you've got 10 weeks and you want to drop body fat and you want to get a set of abs and stuff like that, try and set yourself how much body fat you want to get down to in the first 2 weeks, and you will push harder for that 2 weeks rather than if you just said it's a 10-week goal, because you'll still keep going. Right, well I've still got 8 weeks. Right, well I've still got 7 weeks. Right, well I've got 6 weeks left. And if you set yourself 2-week sub targets or 1-week sub targets every week on a Sunday, put in a little goal, either hitting a PR, doing an extra cardio session, doing an extra mobility session if you're really sore, doing an extra strength session if you're weaker in certain areas, doing an extra shoulder session. Like, just set yourself weekly goals on a Sunday for the following week. Set yourself bi-weekly goals, so every 2 weeks of this is how much weight I want to lose in 2 weeks and the body fat percentage that I want to drop down to, and those sub 2 week goals will then create a better overall end product after the 10 weeks rather than setting a 10-12 week goal that isn't specific. The next question, getting good food in on the go. So good food, like I don't know if that is predominantly the clean dirty thing, but at the end of the day it depends what your goal is. Obviously getting food in on the go if you're trying to bulk up is a lot easier than if you are trying to cut down, because quite a lot of the time when you go into supermarkets the go-to foods aren't very like, they're pretty calorie dense and they're not going to help you with your fat loss goal if that is what it is. But I would say that there are options everywhere. Quite a lot of the time I don't meal prep, and it's because I find the restaurants that are closest to me, not restaurants but like go-to little places, Subway salads. There is a takeaway called Pepe's which I love, and it's like a fake Nando's takeout. Little sushi platters from Tesco are good and pretty macro friendly. You've also got stuff like Bernard Matthew turkey chunks, and every supermarket without fail, I've never ever seen a supermarket that doesn't do this. You get ready cooked chicken tikka chunks or chicken breast chunks or something like that. Tesco do 2 for $5 like all the time. Or you get the ready cooked prawns or the ready cooked tuna or the ready cooked salmon. Every supermarket does it, so there's no excuse. You buy one of them packets, you buy a 2-minute bag of rice, or you bag a salad box and you bang it in. If you haven't got a microwave, get the salad box, put the chicken chunks in the salad. If you have got a microwave, You just have the chicken and you have the rice and you put it in for 2 minutes, and it is simple as that. You're not slaving away for 3 hours on a night for your cooking, unless you are really dialing it in for a bodybuilding competition or a men's physique or being super strict. You'll get, and you're tracking your food accurately, track the food that you get from the shop and get stuff like that. Tubs of natural yogurt and fruit pots in the morning. I mean, them kettle, everyone's got a kettle at work. I don't care what you say. Everyone goes on the coffee and tea breaks. Oh, so simple pots, stuff like that, simple. This one, the basic principles of a calorie deficit. You've got your calorie maintenance level, which is the calories that you, the calories on a daily basis that will maintain your weight regardless from the activity levels you do. Okay, so this level, anything under that line, you are in a calorie deficit all the way down. Anything above that line, you're in a calorie surplus. Gain weight, need to be in a surplus. Lose weight, need to be in a deficit. Okay, either way. Okay, obviously, if you want to gain muscle, the surplus has to be slight. Otherwise, you're going to put on loads of body fat if you're right up there. And then, if you want to lose body fat, you need to be just 500 calories under this deficit. 400 to 500, 500 max, really. That's the most beneficial, because if you weigh down here, it's not good for you. You're going to cause metabolic damage. But another video on comparing all diets will be on that. Nutrient timing. So basically, the importance of different things. You want to hit your daily calories first. Okay, that is the top end of the scale. That is number one. For your goal, fat loss or muscle gain, calories is the most important thing to hit. The second most important thing to hit, the second one after you've hit your calories, is your protein targets, your fat targets and your carbs, your macronutrients. Calories at the top, that's the most important end of the scale. Then your protein, your carbs and your fats are next to your macronutrients. After this comes nutrient timing. Okay, spreading out your 30 grams of protein in however many hours. Okay, but your body, you'd be surprised what your body could do. Okay, and if you aren't having 30 grams of protein every 2 hours like Mr. Olympia is, it is not going to affect your goals to a major significant degree. Okay, get your calories right first, then your macronutrients, then all this stuff like nutrient timing, supplements, whether I should be taking creatine and what stuff you want, bro, is bullshit. Okay, yes, it will affect and it will help the person who is 5 and 6% body fat, but it won't help you unless you're at that point. Okay, macronutrient split. Certain people will react better to higher, so protein regardless is anywhere between 0.8 grams to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight for someone who is doing resistance training and training quite frequently. Everyone pretty much knows that is optimal. But when it comes to carbs and fats, you have to play about with it, I would say, because I've realized that every client that I've got reacts better to either higher carb diet and lower fats, or higher fats and lower carbs, depending on the body type. And that really is for you to play about with. A guide I always use for clients to start with is 0.4 grams of fat per pound of body weight. That is how I work out the macros, like the video that I did 2 videos ago. But I will taper that depending on whether someone reacts better to high fat and they don't feel, quite a lot of the time it's the people that are saying they are hungry all the time, like extremely hungry, and that's because they need more fat to satisfy, to increase the satiety in meals. Some people react well to that, some people react well to higher carbs and lower fats. You've got to play about. If you've got a lot of time and you are going to take this fitness game seriously, you can play about with having higher fats and carbs for a few weeks and see what works best for you. But I've seen ratios of being like 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fats, and I've seen ones of 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fats, and you can change this on MyFitnessPal. But I wouldn't say there is an exact ratio. I would say hit your protein perfectly and then play about with your carbs and fats and see how your body reacts and how you feel fuller, and how whichever one helps you adhere to day-to-day life and your goals better, do that one. So next question is, how important is an actual training program with progressive overload and logging everything in the gym the same you would with food. People don't know how much they are progressing by. I never used to log lifts, and since then my loads have doubled and tripled. So that's a good question. How important is a training program? So quite a lot of the time when someone starts the gym for the first time and starts training, they get newbie gains, so beginner gains, and that will happen for almost the first year, 6 months to a year. Because they are training, the body reacts so well to it because it's not used to the training, it's not used to the stimulus of going into a gym, lifting weights and training hard. So for a year you will pretty much be fine, but after you've got a year's worth of training, maybe just over if you're lucky, once you've got that amount of training under your belt, you really need to be implementing some sort of overload, whether it is increased reps, increased weight in the gym, lifting more each week, or increasing your overall volume, training volume, week by week or month by month. Because if you're not doing that, you're guessing, and if you are subconsciously, you don't realize you're lifting the same amount of reps and the same amount of weight, it's very unlikely that you will change. But if you can, I don't mean write everything down as in every single exercise, even tricep cable extensions for 4 sets at the end of your workout. Yes, you can do that, and that is very optimal, but even logging one lift at the start, like your squat, your bench, your deadlift, your overhead press, one exercise at the start, if you keep a log of that, or even mentally, if you know I benched 80 kilograms for 10 reps last week, this week I'm either going to do 82.5 kilograms for 10 reps for 4 sets, or right, I got cut out there because I think my memory card was full, but at the end of that bit, basically you need to be tracking your weights in some way, shape or form, because progressive overload is going to be one of your key training principles, and you will improve like that. The next question, definitely food and understanding the best foods for toned thighs and abs. So there aren't any specific foods that are going to help your thighs or help your abs. I see little these little photos on Instagram saying avocado will help your thighs lose body fat. Is absolute utter shit, and it's ridiculous that people are getting taught this. Beetroot will change your biceps, shit like that. It is ridiculous. It is often something to do with a selling point or some crazy tips that is going to get likes on Instagram, right? It's ridiculous. No one food source is going to have any direct impact on a muscle group, okay? Certain foods have health benefits, but at the end of the day, to change your physique, you need to be in a calorie surplus to gain muscle, or a calorie deficit. The foods are just numbers, and you've got to fit those numbers and hit those numbers the best you possibly can, using foods to accumulate those numbers, as in you have to use protein dense foods to hit your protein target to build your biceps and build your quads. But there is no magic food or magic pill or anything like that that is going to help you lose body fat, and especially not in a certain area. Next question, what to eat in the morning and struggling while I crave shit food in the evening. So what to eat in the morning is the foods that will satisfy you the most and help you stay full for the longest and help you perform the best in the day and in the gym. Okay, that is the same with every meal, but find your daily routine and find what foods and what food types are going to help you stay satisfied for longer. Okay, what helps you add to your diet more? Little tips. For some reason, my body type, if I have carbs in the morning, a higher carb breakfast and a lower protein and fat breakfast, I don't react well to it and I'm starving 25 minutes later. But if I have protein and fats, as in eggs and toast, eggs and a bagel, eggs and Ryvita, that helps my body react well and I can stay fuller for longer if I'm on a fat loss diet. So that's when I'll do that. Okay, but everyone is different. Find the best food sources that fit into your daily food allowance, your macronutrients, your calories, and stay under that number or stay over that number depending on what you've got to do. But find the foods that satisfy you the most. Next question, literally what to eat and what not to eat. Okay, obviously if you are on a fat loss diet, you don't want to be smashing in a tub of Ben and Jerry's ice cream because at the end of the day, Ben and Jerry's is very high calorie and your calories are likely going to be lower than you're used to. Okay, so if you are on 2,500 calories per day to lose your body fat, or you're a girl and you're on 1,700 calories a day to lose body fat, something like that, those are just ballpark figures. If you're going to smash in 1,000 calorie tub of Ben and Jerry's, or 4 cookies that add up to 1,200 calories, you're going to be able to eat fuck all for the rest of the day. Okay, so you need to choose the foods that aren't very calorie dense but are high volume, that are going to keep you satisfied, which are usually the clean foods. They're not clean, they're just low calorie and they're very voluminous. Okay, voluminous, is that a word? Anyway, they're high volume. Okay, that's what's going to keep you satisfied, and that's why they're not super fat burning foods or anything like that. It's bullshit. Okay, if you can fit a cookie into the end of your day after you've hit your protein, after you've got your good greens in, you've hit your micros, you've got your fiber, and you've hit your fats, and if a cookie fits into your daily routine, have the cookie at the end of the day. Okay, but as long as you hit the numbers that are targeted towards your goals. Okay, work out your macros, work out your calories, know how much you should be eating specifically. It'll help you get started.